Marvel just released their latest installment of Ant-Man in theaters, and here's the heroic enemy size-up of the film. First, a disclaimer. Our command of Ant-Man comic canon is nearly non-existent, so we are simply approaching this film as just that, a film. The only Ant-Man we are familiar with is the classic Hank Pym, so the adaptation that ensued in the film was completely new territory to us. Ant-Man begins immediately with introducing the main conflict of the film through Ant-Man predecessor Dr. Hank Pym, starring Michael Douglas.
I want you to break into a place and steal some stuff.
The budget was not wasted on him. His dialogue and exposition was a glue that kept the movie together throughout. Following the introductory scene, the audience is then introduced to the main protagonist, Scott Lang, an ex-convict master thief that has a master's in electrical engineering. The movie focuses on the character development of Scott Lang, particularly his transformation from infamous criminal to kicking Avenger ass and saving the world. Marvel Studios definitely nailed the witty dialogue in Paul Rudd's character, reminiscent to that of Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark.
Ant-Man. Iron Man was taken.
The movie doesn't take itself seriously, and it is a nice touch, especially when referencing events from Avengers: Age of Ultron. However, it does not make up for what it lacks in action. The movie is exposition heavy. By this, I mean it literally is guided and informed by Michael Douglas narrating events and backstories that have led up to this particular conflict. Every time Hank Pym interacts with the prospective Ant-Man Scott Lang, there is some type of exposition and implied internal conflict that is not revealed until awkward moments of the movie that seem to disjoint an otherwise smooth plotline. The focus seems far too split in the conflict between Dr. Hank Pym and his own personal family crisis and the evolution of Scott Lang. With so much of the film devoted to the exposition of events unknown to the audience, the remainder of the film has little left to highlight the passing of the torch from Hank Pym to Scott Lang and the development of the antagonist, Darren Cross. The expected conflict and resolution feels like an afterthought in light of the first half of the film. More focus and development of the actual tangible threat would have served the movie better. Basically, they should have given Ant-Man more face time and less on analyzing the character of Hank Pym and his painful past. The action scenes of Ant-Man were phenomenally done, especially the climactic ending. The visuals of Hank Pym's Ant-Man suit and the scaling of environments and scenarios left the audience awestruck. However, the movie literally goes from a steady plateau of plot development and expositional dialogue to a drastic jump to action at the end, and it will leave the audience wanting more, which remains to be seen as good or bad. Overall, the casting was great. Paul Rudd usually plays the cynical, melancholy wisecrack in the majority of his roles, but he pulled off a sentimental, redeemable protagonist as Ant-Man. Hank Pym's daughter, Hope, played by Evangeline Lilly, acts as the love interest. It is sort of implied from the first time Scott Lang and Hope meet, which goes to prove that even within the confines of an already full movie, they still felt the need to have a romance, no matter how awkward and non-developmental it was. Less would have been more in this department.
Terrible.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
The wit and lighthearted humor brought laughs to the cinema, and a AAA cast delivered well for the new Marvel title. However, this was not enough to reverse the seemingly wasted time and split focus on the main conflict and plot development. For this reason, the heroic enemy verdict is 2 hearts.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check us out at heroicenemy.com, follow us on Twitter, and like our page on Facebook. Heroic Enemy out.